fight against the fur trade. Let's go!
From the stage, that's all right. Yeah, I think we should decide on the same things.
Trade, death trade.
Animal fur is not fashion. 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 Human fur is a lie. Human fur is a lie. Fur trade, torture trade. Fur trade, death trade. Never back down. We will never back down. There's no excuse for animal abuse. 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 No excuse for animal abuse. Animals do not want to die. Animals do not want to die. Want to die.
compassion. Animal fear is not passion. Excuse!
For animal abuse!
Dog fur is not fashion!
Where the hell is your compassion?
Fur trade, murder trade!
Fur trade, murder trade!
There's no excuse!
For animal abuse!
There's no excuse!
For animal abuse!
Dog fur is not fashion!
Where the hell is your compassion?
Dog fur is not fashion!
Where the hell is your compassion?
Dog fur is not fashion! Where the hell is your compassion? Dog fur is not fashion!
Putrid stench coming from over the fence. Eventually got in there, and the first thing I saw was rows and rows of cages, hundreds and hundreds of foxes, and I saw one fox who was running around and around and around for the whole time I was there. He had his eyes wide and his tongue sticking out of his mouth. He had completely lost his mind, and for me this just really set it home that this farm was like an infection in this beautiful forest. And I think that's because the fur industry is like a cancer. In the last couple of years, Norway, fur ban. Czech Republic, fur ban. Luxembourg, fur ban. Belgium, fur ban. Just in the last couple of years. Gucci, fur free. Versace, fur free. Michael Kors, fur free. Burberry, fur free. This is incredible progress. So thank yourselves for that. Round of applause for everyone here. Farmer, I would be looking for a new profession. Countries all over the world are banning fur farming. The biggest fashion giants are going fur free. It's incredible. My organisation, Open Cages, has been working on the Fur Free Britain campaign. So we've been doing public outreach like this, demonstrations, protests, but mostly behind the scenes we've been lobbying with politicians to get an actual ban. We, Labour, have committed to banning fur if they come into power. So they really are listening, and I have absolute no doubt that we will get a fur-free Britain and get a fur-free world. And because we are beating this cancer, because we have a cure like you people here. So, thank you.
I want to share some information with you to enable you to be more informed activists. And what I thought about was just a quick talk about the chemicals used when treating processed fur and processing fur. After animals have been killed by gassing, neck-breaking or anal or genital electrocution on fur confinement operations, or after crushing, drowning, shooting or strangulation on trap lines, their skin is removed, pulled off from the animal's body, sometimes while the animal is still conscious, now referred to as a pelt. The animal's skin, with the hair still attached, is sent to be tanned, dressed in industry language, and perhaps dyed, bleached and otherwise treated. Common methods for dressing fur skins involve formaldehyde and chromium, chemicals that are listed as carcinogens and are otherwise toxic to humans. other chemicals that may be used or emitted in the dressing and dyeing processes and that appear on one or more US government lists of toxic chemicals include aluminium, ammonia, chlorine, chlorobenzene, copper, ethylene glycol, lead, methanol, nepheline, sulfuric acid, toluene and zinc. Formaldehyde is classified as a carcinogen. Nepheline is made from crude oil. It's another hazardous one. So, and the last point is furthermore the Encyclopedia of Occupational Health and Safety states that various chemicals used in the fur industry are potential skin irritants. A 1998 study of workers in the American Journal of Industrial Medicine found that employment as leather and fur processors may be associated with women's increased risk of breast cancer.
18. There's no need for what's going on in these fur farms, these places tucked away out of sight. It's completely insanely cruel. You have people over there in countries as cold as Canada and those comprising Scandinavia who stay perfectly warm, dry now without animal fur, animal products in their back. So yeah, anyone speaking to justify this trade is purely perhaps talking out of one side of their mouth and stroking their chihuahua out of the other, because they have no grounds on which to support this. On the other end of the spectrum, you do get those antagonists, those who seem to make it their life work to get under our skin, to rub our faces in what we know is something that to some extent is out of our hands, because yes, we cannot force people to stop buying into this trade, but on the other side of things, they're kind of helping us in a way, because they're putting themselves up on a platform as to just how vile and selfish and cruel people can be. Yeah, when you're faced with the barrage of people just turning a blind eye, looking the other way, mocking you, then for me, that is just fueling the fire more than ever. I see that, and I think so many people seem to think that it's a fashion statement in itself, being cruel, being callous, whether it's toward other human beings, laughing at their misfortunes, or yeah, belittling a screaming raccoon dog, hurling him or herself against a cage, since birth, consigned to this misery. They can look down on that and scoff, but yeah, that is a trend. But that's not attractive. And when these people look back in, their 80 years of age, 90 years of age, and they look back, and are they going to say to themselves, well, is that what I did? I tried to bring people down who believed in something full-heartedly, and who are willing to die to save lives, to lose whatever reputation they may have forged amongst a society of indifferent, apathetic individuals. People who are willing to put themselves in the line of fire, and I strove to bring them down to base emotion, to anger and frustration. Yeah, we feel it immensely, but if that is your sole aim in life, to attack those who are just trying to represent millions of animals in fur farms caught in traps, that's all you've got to offer, then maybe you should look in the mirror and ask yourself, do I stand for anything? Do I have any backbone? Why am I so driven to slight what is a miraculous, a wonderful movement, animal rights movement as a whole? Surely they're just undermining it, they're just highlighting rather their own callousness or trying to appease their own sense of guilt for not doing what they should be doing, which is daily purchases. You're voting for violence when you pay for these products, and we are here to try and spread the word.
And you're on the right side of history. We're not walking by, we're not ignoring the suffering of others. We're taking action against the fair trade. And whether that's you're just putting a sticker on somebody's coat, giving someone a leaflet, or screaming your arse off at Prada or Canada Goose, then just do something. But don't stay silent. Never stay silent in the face of injustice.
Today, to protest about the obnoxious
the horrendous, hideous fur trade. The other day on the internet, it said they talk about the universe. It's made of protons and electrons and neutrons, but what about the morons? And as we know, when we face people away fur is worn by beautiful animals and morons and ugly people. I can't believe that we're waking up to animal suffering, but I can't believe I'm still here after 35 fucking years and still talking about getting rid of the fur trade. I was sitting there yesterday thinking that I read the Canada Goose website where they said, yeah, our fur comes from animals that are trapped. Now in 35 years of campaigning against the fur trade, I've never ever heard a fur trader be honest and say that. Never say, yeah, our fur comes from animals that were caught in leg-hold traps. So what? But here you've got Canada Goose put on their website that their fur exclusively comes from animals that have been trapped. And they're thinking, hang on, we got rid of that. And I remember being in prison in 1991, and I got some newsletter, and their front page was about how the importation of fur in this country from animals that have been caught in leg-hold traps. Obviously, you all people here, hopefully there's some passers-by listening. The leg-hold trap is one of the most obscene things ever invented. Basically, a coyote, in this case, walking along a trap. The fur trader has hidden it underneath the path. The animal steps down, crunch on the leg, and it will hold it there until the fur trader maybe comes along a day, 2 days, a week later. If it's still alive, hit it on the head with a piece of wood or shoot it. Hideously cruel. And I'm thinking, hang on, we've already had Groundhog Day. We've got rid of importation in this country from the leg-hold trap. And I started going through I started going on the internet and looking through. About 8 hours later, and I'm still angry from doing it now. If you put in a Google search, importation of fur, put in leg-hold trap, straight away the regulation comes up, and I'll read it to you. In plain language, importation of fur regulations, Council Regulation EEC number 325/91 prohibits the importation of furs and fur products from some wild animal species, and those species are listed here. Coyote is one of them, where they are caught by leg-hold traps. It specifically mentions leg-hold traps because a lot of our campaigns are about leg-hold traps. There's two other types of trap. There's a killing trap and there's a drowning trap, but the legislation specifically mentions leg-hold trap. All trapping methods, so includes others, that do not meet international standards of humane trapping. Plain English, thought we'd done it. Round the back door, I discovered only yesterday, 1997, Russia and Canada managed to meet EU bureaucrats, and they managed to get some exemptions from the ban if they get into these humane traps. I'll now show you a picture. This is an agreement on international humane trapping standards. It's called the Bridge of Coils Offset and Laminated Jaws. You won't be able to see that, but looking for it, have a chat to me later. It's called the Bridge of Coil Springs Offset and Laminated Jaws. Forgive my fucking French, it's a fucking leg hold trap. These are meant to be banned. What the hell are we doing? What, the animal rights movement, we took our foot off the accelerator because we thought it's gone, it's not gone. It's back and it's a monster and we've got to get rid of it. Because the fur issue is an animal rights issue. We've got to get rid of the fur trade. We've got to get rid of killing for pleasure. We still haven't got rid of the bloody fox hunters, even over there meant to get illegal. So for all the hundreds of millions of chickens and pigs, we've got to get rid of the fur trade, and we're going to do it. When we meet this time next year, we'll have done it, I hope. Not doing it again, because that's another way we got rid of fur, was by tackling people on the street. Ew, that's disgusting. Do it however you want, but let's start doing it again. We've got to get rid of fur.
Embracing human beings, please embrace whatever compassion you have left. The dog you want is hanging up there. Could be a mother coyote, a father coyote, a baby coyote. You have the luxury of choice. You can choose which victim will also be brutally killed to replace that animal whose fur you are proudly intent on sporting some kind of trophy. All you are doing when you wear animal fur in 2018 is advertising to those around you, those more discerning human beings, that you lack basic compassion and empathy. Those are truly beautiful values.
I'm Phoebe, and me and my sister, we made the Earthlings Experience. Whose skin are you in, and where are they now? Was it taken from a fox, or taken from a cow? Whose skin are you in? Why not wear something kind, where no one was harmed? An ethical find. Whose skin are you in? Was it from a handbag or coat? Was it worth all the suffering? Did they deserve a slit throat? Whose skin are you in? Have you even met them? Or you refuse to watch the videos because it's easier to forget them? Well, I won't forget the cruelty, and I won't ignore their pain. I will not stay silent and leave those mink to go insane. From cannibalism to isolation, they're tortured by every sensation, and it's the ultimate humiliation. The animals are murdered by every nation, while we continue to turn a blind eye, and we continue to make them die. For fashion and vanity, what has happened to humanity? Yes. Whose skin are you in? And what if it were you that were tortured for fur trim, or killed for a shoe? Whose skin are you in? What if it were your mother, caged and tortured, or your sister or your brother? Would it then make a difference? Tell me, would you then stop buying? If instead of a rabbit's eye, it was a human one crying? Whose skin are you in? Did you forget they had a life? It wasn't even necessary. It wasn't a sacrifice. Whose skin are you in? Don't tell me it's your choice. While they scream for their lives, don't they too have a voice? Do they not deserve love? Do their lives have no worth? I think you are forgetting that we all share this earth. Whose skin are you in? Why not wear something kind, where no one was harmed? An ethical find. Forget the wool, the leather, the silk and the down. No more